Let's talk about what I think the Sixers starting lineup could be in 2021, and then you can give me your opinions, and we can go back and forth and talk about it and fight each other. Run it back, nation. What is good? DJ Eastwood here. Run it back. Hit the like button if you like me. Hit the dislike button if you hate my guts. Hit the subscribe button if you're new. This video is brought to you by my Teespring store. Click the link in the description. Get all the Run It Back merchandise. I just put out the Daryl Morey Jesus tee. And for this specific episode, I'm going to give away one of these for free. So what you have to do to get this t-shirt for free is you have to like this video. You have to be subscribed to the channel, obviously, because why would you not be unless you're a fraud? You have to follow me on Twitter and follow me on Instagram. And tweet me, hashtag #RunItBackDaryl. Hashtag #RunItBackDaryl, and you will be entered into the drawing to win a free Daryl Morey Jesus tee with the Run It Back logo in the middle. And if you're offended by this t-shirt, I really don't care. This video is also brought to you by Fansited. That is a fun. Oh, now my cat is meowing at the damn door. This video is also brought to you by Fansited. That is a Fanatics company. Right now, they have up to 65% off and free shipping on Sixers and Eagles gear. Listen, I want to tell you guys, as this channel grows and we get more subscribers and I get more opportunities to do affiliate sponsorships, I'm not going to fill the whole damn videos with sponsors. I know that's annoying. And the only sponsors I will ever do is things that I believe benefit you. Because my subscribers are the reason this channel is where it is. So I will never be up here talking about a product that I don't like or a product that has nothing to do with anything. I'm only going to promote stuff that I think will benefit you because you are benefiting me. I got the links in the description. I have a link for the Sixers page. I have a link for the Eagles page. Up to 65% off and free shipping if you use the links in the description. Let's get into this. If you are listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please do me a huge favor and leave a review and hit the 5-star button. I'll read your reviews on the show when you leave them. If you leave 4 stars, I'm not reading it because you're a fraud, okay? 5 stars only. Thank you very much. First of all, apparently on First Take yesterday, they were going over the Sixers' potential starting lineup, and they had this on the screen. Now, I couldn't find the video clip of this actually happening, but somebody sent it to me on Twitter, and it's just hilarious. Ben Simmons, Danny Green, Tobias Harris, Dwight Howard, and Joel Embiid. Now, how in the world are these people paid professionally to talk about sports, and they can't put 2 and 2 together that the entire reason we traded Al Horford was because the spacing was terrible, and these goofballs actually think we're going to play Dwight Howard and Joel Embiid together? Listen, Brett Brown probably would have done that, but we got rid of that goofy. We got rid of him. He gone. That's the reason we got rid of him, because he had no fucking clue what he was doing. You understand what I'm saying? Daryl Morey has been preaching about spacing since the day he got here, since the very second he got here, because he uses his brain, and he looked at analytics, and he looked at the Sixers 2017 team and how successful Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons were together on the floor when they had shooters and spacing around them. And he said it literally as plain as day. He said, it's amazing how good these two were when they had spacing and shooting on the floor. So, I mean, he didn't call out Brett Brown and Elton Brand directly or the ownership group directly, but he was basically saying, you guys are fucking idiots. You have no idea what you're doing. Damn, I got to stop with the F-bombs. You guys are idiots. You have no idea what you're doing. You need shooting. You need spacing. So I guarantee you, Doc Rivers, who likes to score points on offense and likes to run the pick and roll, and Daryl Morey, who knows the issue was spacing and lack of shooting, is not going to play Dwight Howard and Joel Embiid together on the floor. That's just stupid. NBA TV has us ranked at number 6 in the Eastern Conference. A lot of people are saying they're sleeping on us or whatever. I actually think this is a pretty fair rating. You guys can let me know, fair ranking. You guys can let me know what you think, where we should rank in the Eastern Conference right now. I'm going to stick to what I'm saying, that I don't think we've made enough moves yet to compete with the Bucks or the Nets. I do think the Celtics should be nowhere near number 3. I think the Heat will have a sophomore season, and they won't be as good as they were last year. I'm just not seeing how we could be any higher unless you take the Heat and Celtics out of there. But you can't take the Heat out because they went to the Eastern Conference or they went to NBA Finals. You can't take the Heat out of there. The Celtics swept us last year, so I guess you can't take them out of there, even though our team is totally different now. But they have it ranked 1 Bucks, 2 Heat, 3 Celtics, 4 Nets, 5 Raptors, and 6 76ers, 7 Pacers, 8 Magic, 9 Wizards, 10 Hawks. Nobody cares about the rest. I think this is pretty fair for where we're at right now. And like I said, I think we need to make one more move to add another significant scorer to compete with the Bucks and the Nets. And I'm sticking with Zach LaVine. All right. I still have hope. We're going to start the season like this, most likely. And I'm thinking before the trade deadline, Daryl Morey will start to see, hey, we need more scoring. We need a closer. We need a one-on-one guy that can get a bucket in the clutch that's an elite level or close to an elite level scorer, and he's going to make a move before the trade deadline. But this is what we're working with right now, and I think number 6 is pretty fair. Let me know what you think about that. Let's get to it. All right, man, so here we go. So these are the 11 players that I think have the best shot at making the Sixers roster and being active most of the games. Like every single game, these 11 players, I believe, will be active. There's some players that will be interchangeable. There's some players that might make the active roster that aren't on here that from day to day, if players have injuries, if players get COVID-19, if players are resting or whatever else. But this is the 11 that I think most likely will be on the starting roster, will be on the roster, and I'm going to go give you who I think is going to be the starters and who I think is going to be the bench right now. So number 1 obviously is number 1 and number 2 obviously is if I knew how to work this damn thing. Number 1 and number 2 is obviously Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, okay? So, and by the way, we're going to do this positionless. I'm not saying point guard. I'm not saying small forward. I'm not saying power forward. Doc Rivers already said he doesn't think Ben Simmons has a position. He already said he enjoys positionless basketball. Ben Simmons is the kind of guy that's going to fit on the floor, and there's not going to be a specific position because people say he's not a power forward because he can't shoot a 3, even though I think he is going to shoot that corner 3 more than he did last season. People say he's not a point guard because he can't run the offense from the top of the key because the defense plays 20 feet off in the paint. I'm fine with that. I just don't think you necessarily have to have a power forward on the floor when Ben Simmons is on the floor, even though you think he can't play power forward. What I'm saying is there doesn't have to be specific positions. So Ben Simmons, number 1. Joel Embiid is the other guarantee, all right? There you go. Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. Now, who's going to start in between these two players? First starter I'm automatically going with off the top is Danny Green, okay? Because Danny Green is a veteran presence, something we want on the floor. He's a shooter, and some people in the comments and some people on Twitter keep telling me he's not a shooter because he had one bad season with the Lakers. Danny Green shot over 43% on the championship Toronto team, and Danny Green has a career 40% three-point percentage, okay? Danny Green is a shooter. I think he's going to rekindle that flame with the three-point shot that he had in Toronto, hopefully, and he'll get back up over 40%, and he will be a knockdown shooter for us, catching wide open passes from Ben Simmons. All right, so we're playing. And also a reason for me putting Danny Green in the starting lineup is that he can play defense, and you want a balance here. You understand what I'm saying? Here's the problem. Like with all the shooters in 2017, we had too many players on the floor that couldn't play any defense, right? J.J. Redick, Marco Bellinelli, T.J. McConnell, and these guys. T.J. McConnell's not a three-point shooter, but you know what I'm saying. Last year, we overloaded on defense because Brett Brown thought he was going to beat the Bucks with size and strength, and then he realized this isn't fucking rugby or football. This is a basketball game. You have to have shooters on the floor and score points, right? So, another F-bomb. Danny Green is a shooter and plays defense. That's good balance. We need that on the floor, especially with the next guy that I'm going to say is in the starting lineup. The next guy that I'm going to say is in the starting lineup is Seth Curry, all right? Seth Curry is in the starting lineup. And no, Seth Curry can't play any damn defense, but you got to give and take in the NBA. Everybody has one guy on the floor that can't play any defense, but his offense outweighs that. Seth Curry, a 45% career three-point shooter. Okay, ranks number 2 all time behind Steve Kerr. You know what I'm saying? He's not Steph Curry level. We know that. But this guy can dribble and shoot at an above average level, and he can shoot specifically at an elite level. And this is exactly what Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid need on the floor the majority of a basketball game. So I'm putting Seth Curry in the starting lineup at whatever position you want to call it. You want to call it shooting guard? Fine. You want to call it small forward? Fine. You want to call it point guard? I don't care. Now, some people have Shake Milton in the starting lineup because he was starting last year. And I'm saying no to that because just what I saw last season, he was too inconsistent. He still needs time to grow as an NBA player. He still needs time to get that experience, and he'll be more consistent as time goes on, I believe. Right? Now, Doc Rivers did make a comment that he thinks Shake Milton killed them last year because the only time he saw Shake Milton play was when he dropped 39 points against the Clippers. So maybe Doc Rivers might think he's better than he actually is and might start him to start the season. But I just don't think that's the right move. I think Seth Curry and Ben Simmons can share ball handling responsibilities. Danny Green can be the defender, wing shooter guy that he is. And then the last position, obviously, is going to go to the guy who has the highest, the biggest damn contract on the team, and Tobias Harris, the $180 million man who's not worth even half of that. We already know that. It was an overpay because Jimmy Butler left. You know that whole thing that happened. So I'm putting Tobias Harris in the starting lineup, obviously, because you don't want to have a $180 million guy coming off the bench. And also, I think Tobias Harris is going to benefit from the space from the other shooters the same way Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid benefit from the space. And I think that will give Tobias much more open shots. I think that will put Tobias in much better positions. And I think Tobias's shot percentages will rise. And they'll be way better than they were last year because just everything was a clunky mess. And everybody's shot percentage and just overall appearance and skill set looked less than it really is. You know, it just made everybody's game worse. Trying to play 2 centers on the floor, having Tobias at the small forward, having Ben at point guard the whole season basically without another guard on the floor. Josh Richardson was the only guard on the floor, and the guy can't shoot a lick. You understand what I'm saying? So this is what we have. Ben Simmons, Danny Green, Seth Curry, Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid. Okay, if you do want to say positions, that's fine. If we're going to say positions, I'm going to say Seth Curry is the point guard. All right. I'm going to say Danny Green is the shooting guard. I'm going to say Ben Simmons is the small forward. I'm going to say Tobias Harris is the power forward. And I'm going to say Joel Embiid is the center. It doesn't really matter what you call it. I think this is the most efficient lineup we're going to have this season. Now let's look at the bench, all right? Who's going to be the 6th man? All right, so we got Tyrese Max, so we don't know what we have in him yet, but I do think he's going to grow into a role on this team, and he's going to be a good player for us moving forward. But, some people saying Tyrese Maxey should start. The Sixers and an experienced coach like Doc Rivers are not going to start a rookie on this team with other experienced players coming off the bench. You're just going to start the most experienced players who fit together to start the season. Now, by the end of the season, could Tyrese Maxey be on the starting lineup? Absolutely. If he turns into what we hope he could be, somebody on Twitter just told me, I think Maxey is going to be what Markelle Fultz should have been. That would be amazing. Again, he did shoot 29% in college. He claims he's better than that. Everybody else claims he's better than that. John Calipari claims he's better than that. That's fine. If this kid can shoot in the mid-30s or high 30% from three-point range and can handle the ball and can play defense and all that stuff, he might be in the starting lineup by the time the season ends. But right now, he's coming off the bench, all right? Of course, Matisse Thybulle has to be there, right? That's your defender, your ball hawk, your guy that just annoys people, your guy that deflects passes. What was he, second in overall deflections in the NBA last season? His deflection rate is through the roof. I'm pretty sure it's the highest in the NBA. He gets his hand on it. Everything. He's just a disruptor. It's so much fun to watch. He causes turnovers. And when he's on the floor with Ben Simmons and he causes turnovers and Ben picks up the ball and runs the fast break, it is just a beautiful sight. You know what I'm saying? But I am going to have Matisse as the sixth man starting the season. I'm not going to have Tyrese Maxey as the sixth man right away. I think Matisse is going to be the sixth man, okay? I think Shake Milton is going to be the seventh man, okay? That's the backup. He's going to be the backup ball handler, you know what I mean? When Seth Curry comes off the floor, or when Ben comes off the floor, or when Danny Green comes off the floor, Shake plays well with Ben, played well with Ben last season. Not as good as I think Seth Curry's going to play with him, but I do think Shake is going to be the seventh man as the second primary ball handler on the team. We're going to look at Dwight Howard here, because that's Embiid's backup. Now, when it comes to what Brett Brown did last year, he was so obsessed with playing Al Horford. He was pressured because of how much money he was paid, and probably because it was mainly his decision. That's the conclusion I'm at right now. I blame Brett Brown for everything in life now. Brett Brown signed Al Horford to that contract, so he wanted to play him as much as possible, so he didn't appear to be wrong, and he ended up fired, and 100% wrong. It was a terrible decision, and it was painful to watch every single night, him forcing those two together. But listen, I think Dwight Howard's going to be the eighth man, because also with the analytics we had last season, Joel Embiid came off the floor at the 6-minute mark in the first quarter every single game. And we found out that had a lot to do with somebody in an office who was in charge of analytics. You know, I just don't think Joel Embiid's going to come out right at the 6-minute mark every game. I don't think Embiid's going to be the first one off the floor every game like we had last season. So I think Dwight Howard's going to be right about there, 7th or 8th spot off the bench. And if he's the first guy off the bench and Embiid goes out first, that's fine too, because I really think Ben Simmons and Dwight Howard are going to play great together. Dwight Howard, a big floor-running center that can catch lobs and hammer it down with the best of them, still at his age, a physical specimen, can guard the rim. I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch him and Ben Simmons on the floor together, but I do think Doc Rivers is going to do everything he can in his power to not have Dwight and Joel Embiid on the floor at the same time, no matter what ESPN says. Those bunch of goofies over there, right? All right, so I think I'll have Maxey after Howard to start the season. All right, and then I'm thinking Isaiah Joe. I'm gonna take a flyer on Isaiah Joe. I'm gonna say that Isaiah Joe shines in training camp, in preseason, shows the coaches a lot of good things as far as catching and shooting. If you watch his highlights, the dude is an absolute sniper. His jump shot is beautiful. He has range. The college three-point line wasn't even in his mind. He didn't care where it was. He was 5 or 6 feet behind it all the time. I really think this kid is going to shoot the lights out, and he's going to work himself into a major role for the 76ers in the 2021 season, man. I'm really excited for Isaiah Joe. And the last one is Tony Allen. Like I said before, great role player off the bench, great backup center or deep bench center, good rebounder for the limited minutes that he played in his NBA career. You know, he averaged 5 rebounds in 11 minutes a game. That's a very good rebounding efficiency, right? So I like Tony Allen there. And then maybe in some of these other roles, in some of these other spots in the 12, the 13, and the 14, you know, maybe you have maybe Ryan Brokoff makes the team and ends up there. Is Furkan Korkmaz still going to be here? Is Mike Scott still going to be here? Is Glenn Robinson III still going to be here? Who am I missing? You know, who didn't I put on here? There's another rookie that we drafted. I was just watching his highlights last night, man. Another big lob catching power forward. Damn, his name's gone off the top of my head right now. I apologize for that, but you guys go ahead and fill that in the comments. Yeah, this is what it looks like, man. This is what I really, really think the starting lineup is going to be right here. Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Danny Green, Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid, and then I think the bench is going to be Matisse Thybulle, Shake Milton, Dwight Howard, Tyrese Maxey, and Isaiah Joe, with Tony Allen being the deep bench center, and especially the backup center when Joel Embiid is on minutes restriction or fucking load management or whatever. You understand? So that's what I'm going with, man. You guys, give me all your thoughts and opinions in the comments. And by the way, I did call it. Somebody told me in the comments yesterday that the Ryan Brokoff signing, I called it 4 months ago. Brett Brown wasn't going to use him and he wasn't going to make the team. And it was absolutely true. Brett Brown didn't plan on using him and he didn't travel to the NBA bubble because Brett Brown doesn't want shooters. But he's gone. Thank God. That's what I got, man. You guys let me know in the comments what you think your starting lineup will the Sixers starting lineup will be, and the bench, and let me know any players that aren't on here that you think could possibly make the team. Thank you for watching Run It Back. Thank you for listening to Run It Back. If you're listening to it on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or some other type of streaming podcast platform, thank you for listening. That's all I got. You guys have a good day.